Time for me to get back to the bench. I've got work to do. Roll intro. So back to working at the bench after some time. I was away for a while. When I got back, I had to go to the Liars show and then came back and cut a video, dropped that in. But I haven't actually gotten to do work on a model for some time. It's time to get back and get going on these things. This is the channel chopped 32 Ford for the Frankie Frizzo appreciation build. I've started to mask off certain parts of it because I need to sand and or grind some parts where putty went on, and it was a little thick. So this rear panel here, I don't know if you call that the sail panel or not, needs it. And then this whole corner is going to need work. That's going to come after I do this. I've laid down some tape here because this section is thick and that also needs some grinding. Whereas down here, it's going to get some filling after I do that. And of course, back here certainly needs filling. I use this blue 3M tape because it's a little more, I don't know, plasticky than Tamiya tape. So if I run across it a little bit with a sanding stick or even with a grinder, it's going to hold up a little better. Now up here on the windshield post, I have taped off, I don't even know if you can see, the section that goes around the windshield, the front window has got some tape on it, and then this part in the front is open. I want to fill that. I put some tape on the back to try and help keep it sort of flat and clean. So once I get that in, I can sand it, and then once that is all done, I'll tape up and I'll do the back portion that goes around the window. So a lot of work to do on this. I use perfect plastic putty. I think I'm going to use it for that windshield post. Yeah, it's a solvent putty. It's not a two-part putty, but it goes on very easily. You can smooth it with like a finger that you dip in water. And for something like this that's small, it's going to work just fine. I'm not going to see, any cracks or big shrinkage or anything because it's a very small amount. And then I need to do some more work on the dune buggy. The paint went on fine. There's just a little bit of roughness on this little trunk thing and on the back fenders. So I'm going to give it a light sanding before it's ready then to get clear coat. And inside we'll get the black floor and silver around the edges, silver on the front along the inner portion of the fender, and then the nose piece will be silver as well. I have not yet gotten to do the rear seat. I wanted to redo it. I showed that in a prior video. Just haven't had time for it. I want to get this done now and get on that seat as well. Before I start these things, I've got something else to do. Well, the first order of business today is something of a test. You might remember in a previous video, I was talking about some clear coats, and I brought out this bottle of Pledge Floor Care, which is actually, we know it as Future, which puts down a pretty neat shine on a model because it's not that super foot deep gloss kind of thing that you might see on a show car, but it is a more realistic type of clear coat for a street car or something, the truck, something like that, as if maybe it got a quick turtle wax in the driveway. And I always liked it, and I like putting it on because it's self-leveling. You brush it on and pretty much takes care of itself. When I brought it out at that time, I said, oh, I don't think I can use this. It looks like it's yellowed, and it kind of does. But I wondered if it was actually the stuff for the bottle. Never really checked into it. And then I found this little bottle of Future that I had, I guess, gotten out some time ago. I don't know, it's maybe half full or a quarter full, something like that. But if you look at it, you can see that this looks clear. It's been in this for bottle just as long as the big bottle. And I thought, well, all right, maybe I ought to just try this and see if the Future is good or not. So I got out this greenhouse and roof. This is from the Section 32 Ford that I showed in some previous videos that has been on the back burner for a long time while I work on group builds. But I kept the top on this because it started out as a 5-window coupe, and I just cut the top off to make it a convertible. So I've got this and I've had it for some time. And what I want to do is just put Future over the bare plastic because it's white. And then once I take the tape off the other side that does not have the Future, we'll see if it looks the same or if one side is yellowed. So that's what I'm going to do. So now I have put a very tiny amount of the Future in this cup. And it really doesn't look like it's yellowed. It looks pretty clear to me. I'll do a couple of coats, but I've got everything. I've got the work mat on top of the show mat with a little bit of a plastic thing in here to try and keep things from getting messed up. So I'm just going to sponge on a very light coat at first, just like that, and let that dry. Sitting in here, it will self-level, and we'll just wait for the second coat and then see how it comes out. So cut to a few hours later, after applying 2 coats and letting it dry, this is the result. Can you tell any difference between the two? Is one side yellow and one side not? Can you even tell which side has the Future on it? Well, it's this side. I think you can see how shiny and glossy it is. It does come up with a very nice gloss. And I've got the macro lens on, so I'm hoping that that will come in. The texture in that center section is going to kind of offset some of the gloss of the Future. But on the side rails of the roof, you can see how beautifully shiny it is, etc. But you also can see that there is no change. So the Future has not yellowed. I can use it. I think that's great. I have plenty. It's going to still last me a long time. And, for those gloss coats or clear coats that don't really need that dipped in plastic look, I think this is going to be good. So there it is. So I want to rub this out just a little bit. I've got a number 2000 sanding sponge from the DSPA set. And I'm working, in a sense, kind of counterintuitively here because I go with a finer grit to begin with to see if that will cut it, no pun intended, if it works, because that way I'm not going on too coarse a grit and cutting through the paint. With something like this, I just use a very, very light touch, and then hopefully I'll just smooth it out just enough to then be ready for clear coat. I don't use water. I don't like to wet sand acrylic paint because I think all that's doing is just helping to melt the paint down. So I'm going to do this, and then we'll show you when it is ready. And there it is, as they say, a little dab will do you. And what I'll do is just let it set up a little bit before I pull the tape so the tape doesn't get caught in the putty. But when I pull it off, hopefully I'll have a fairly straight line where the tape carried away the excess putty. And that's it. Now, after some work, and it has been some work, I've come up with this. I know it looks a little rough. It's not going to get finished in a day, so I thought, well, I'm going to do this clip so I can drop it into this video and get it posted. It's a work in progress. But I did manage to get this trim line straightened out quite a bit. Needs a little fill, but it's coming along. That big divot here in the front I filled with some more perfect plastic putty, and that is going to need some sanding. I'm working on the rear wheel arch as well. This part behind it's a little thick. That needs a little more knocking down. The arch itself, I think, is coming along. I'll know better when I hit it with another coat of primer and I can see everything in sort of in one dimension. Also, this back sail panel needs sanding. In the back here, I just marked off on the right, I marked that area with the black marker as a part that I don't want to really touch. I can shape it a little bit, but that's the trim strip, and that needs to stay. But back here where the hash marks are, again, it's thick, needs to be sanded down, smoothed out. The windshield post has come along. When you consider the big gap that was there when I started, I think it's looking pretty good now. I've got a little bit more sanding to do, and then it's going to need another application of putty, more sanding, and then I can move on to the area around the window trim. So that's gotten work. It needs work. It's going to take quite a while. There's a lot of bumps on here that are going to need to get fixed. Here's the dune buggy body. I know it looks like it's the same, but when I started to rub it out, I realized that the paint on here, I think it might have been maximum 3 coats, and it was very thin. Not that I was cutting through, but I was afraid that really just handling it was going to show rub marks and it was not going to be really even. So I hit it with another coat of the acrylic paint. And actually, I kind of like this monochrome look. I'm going to leave it on the back instead of doing something with these little goofy trim panels here. The front and the interior will get silver. This is the Myers-Manx front part that I have appropriated for this build. That'll be silver as well. So having painted it now, I think it's set up enough that I can paint that silver in, let that dry and hit it with a clear coat. Interestingly, now that I've got the future, I'm thinking I may just want to put the future on this as a clear coat. And I think that will work out just fine. This is a nice flat area, a little bit of a curve here. I think that'll still work out all right. So I'm going to give it a try, see how it comes out. And I've been stripping out the paint from the interior of the Corvette. Let me show you that. So here's the interior after spending just a night in the stripper. I use citrus strip. I've done a video on that on strippers, and that's what I like. So for 12 hours in the stripper, not bad. I hit this pretty much just with like a stream of water and a little bit of dish detergent. I didn't really bother getting into these corners because that floor is going to be painted black anyway. I wanted to get the console and get that cleaned up. Here is the dashboard. And again, the details, the paint is out of them, except over here on these little vents. I'm almost inclined to leave it like that because it gives it some detail, but I'm going to paint over it, probably hit it with some Tamiya panel accent paint anyway, and the seats then as well. The little bit that's left on here I can sand off or just cover it with primer before I paint it red. So that's it. I think overall not bad for yesterday and this morning. Moved the bar a little bit on these builds, and I'm going to keep working on it. Now, one more thing I want to talk about before I go out, and that is that AAA Hobbies in Magnolia, New Jersey has announced that they're going to close. This is like their last year of operation. And what a shame. They are literally the one hobby store that has everything. And I mean everything. They're associated with Mega Hobby online, megahobby.com. And I don't know what the status of Mega Hobby is going to be. I've seen some speculation online. I will not repeat rumors here on the channel. So I don't know about that. But AAA is wonderful. The last time I was there, I wanted to do a video, but Jack, who's kind of the guy that runs things down there, was out of the store at the moment, and the others didn't feel like they should grant me permission, although I think that would have happened. Jack had been there, and I said, well, I'll do it the next time I come down. It's about an hour away from my home. Unfortunately, can't do that because, they're going to close up. And it's a shame. It's a wonderful resource. They've done great work for decades. We're sorry to see them go, but we wish them well in retirement. So there we go. Time for me to get back to work. Now, I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving, and thank you so much for viewing. And thank you, as always, to my subscribers. If you haven't done that, you might want to think about clicking that subscribe button. I would appreciate it very much. Have a happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll see you next time.